you've done Independence Day in the U.S., you did Robo Warriors in the Philippines, and you've done both Rambo 4 and Bangkok Dangerous here in Thailand. Why Australia?
Well, I'm Australian, and Australia is my home country. When I graduated from performance in 1991, there wasn't a lot going on in Australia as far as I could see. And so I went abroad. I went overseas and I cut my teeth the best way I knew how. And I got lucky. So yes, Independence Day was just a fantastic experience. On the Bonneville Salt Flats in Nevada, Utah, and working with incredible crews on a huge production really taught me a lot. I then went on and did other movies, and I was privileged as an actor or as a supporting actor or as a double or even as a stand-in on some movies to run the whole course of a film. So most actors don't get the chance to see an entire film made unless you're the leading actor. You're only there for a few days or a couple of weeks. But my early experience in film gave me that opportunity more than once. So I started a film and I went all the way through it. That enabled me to see how the whole filmmaking process works. That gave me my opportunities to start my first production company.
So this is an Aussie son getting to bring Hollywood back home.
In a sense it is. Yeah, but I look at it another way. It's an Australian who's done the hard yards overseas, wanting to create a new style of filmmaking in Australia, wanting to create not American-style movies, but Australian-style movies that are well developed for international release.
We've seen a lot of changes in the film industry of late. For one, there's the merger of Bollywood and Hollywood with DreamWorks and Big Reliance Entertainment. How do events like this affect your project?
The changes, especially with the growth of financing of films coming from new areas. India is of extreme importance to me. It has a wonderful industry, as everyone knows, been making so many movies. It's the biggest producer of films in the world. So now that India is actually developing relationships with multinationals, foreign companies, I see this as a really exciting new development for me as a producer who's focused on international co-productions. I've been working and researching and building my skills in line with the development of global contracting, global international co-production treaties, which have begun to take hold and drive the industry. Singapore and Australia have finally ratified their international co-production treaty. Singapore is basically a neighbor of Australia, and Perth, my hometown, is very close to Singapore. Singapore is a small country. It has a wonderful financial base and it has a wonderful technological base, but it doesn't have much land to shoot films on. So the synergies of marrying Singapore and Australia in terms of co-production are wonderful. Bring India into the mix, and the distribution angles are incredible. So the complexity of putting together in an international co-production is a challenge, but it's also something that is really spearheading today's filmmaking.
James, let's have you change hats now. You've been talking to us as the producer. This is your first film as the lead actor. Now, in all of your other projects, how is it different in choosing the focus and the direction that you want to take with this project?
Well, right from the outset, I knew the challenge of producing my first film back in Australia would be one where I had to look at all the options, one where I had to conservatively make decisions that would be desirable in terms of the budget level that we could attract to such a story. And at this point in my career, the digital technology available to us, the digital cameras that are available, lend themselves extremely well to our film. All the Tired Horses, its mood, its setting is quite gritty, quite dark, quite intense. Digital photography has developed to a level where Panavision's Genesis is great. You've got the Red 1 camera, a 4K digital camera. You've got Silicon Imaging with their SI2K cameras. I've looked at all of these new developments and I watch them closely, because even if we don't use a particular camera for this film, more than likely I'll be using one of those cameras I just mentioned for a future film. I love the idea of making the highest quality film at the most economical price. That's really the producer talking.
James, thank you for joining us once again on Explore TV, and I hope that you'll be back with us again to give us some more updates about all the Tired Horses as the production moves forward.
Al, absolutely. Indeed, as always, a pleasure.
Thank you again.
Thank you.